Moments away from the start of the second half inside the Levy Center. Thank you for joining us on a wet and cool Thursday afternoon or evening. Gosh, it's already evening. It's been a long day. Anthony Passarelli and Henry Caruso, whether you're listening on AM 1220 KDOW, watching on the WCC Network video stream with our radio play-by-play and color analysis, or listening on the Broncos Premium TuneIn radio channel. Thank you for joining us. Henry, keys to the second half, especially the opening 5 minutes.
Yeah, it starts really on the defensive end for the Broncos. When they're able to get good stops defensively, they've been able to get out in transition on the offensive end, and that's led to open threes, early post touches for Jaden Bediako, and really putting pressure on that USF Don defense. I'm really interested to see how Santa Clara comes out defensively, hopefully with some hunger, intensity, and urgency, and really set the tone starting off the second half.
Keyshawn Justice, being the veteran that he is, playing in his 127th game as a Bronco, making his way out onto the floor, clapping aggressively, looking focused, and trying to get his teammates fired up for the start of the second half, saying, let's go, come on, fellas. It'll be Brown, Justice, Bediako, Pajemski, and Carlos Stewart. Pajemski had 9 in the first half. And it will be USF basketball to start the second half. And it's Khalil Shabazz, Coonan with Hawthorne, Roberts, and Gigi Berea. Roberts working, accelerating, free throw line, pull-up jumper. It spins off and is grabbed by Keyshawn Justice, who is called for a foul, I believe. No, it's 12. It's Bediako. I did not see the contact. I was focused on where the ball was ending up, and it looked like maybe Jaden made contact after the shot was missed. So Bediako picks up the foul. That is his first. Roberts throwing out top. Hawthorne wide open. Three-point look. It missed off the front iron, and it squirts to the sideline. Last touch by Shabazz. It'll be Bronco ball.
Good help defense there by Keyshawn. Roberts was able to have an open lane, and Keyshawn stepped up, forced Roberts to make the extra pass.
Broncos are 9-0 when out shooting their opponents. Still a long way to go here, but they are out shooting USF 43% to 38%. Pajemski bouncing to Bediako. Bediako spinning. There's a jump hook over his shoulder, and that one hit the back iron, front iron, back iron, and dropped down.
Yeah, it just seems all year when Bediako is able to take his time, get to his right-hand jump hook, it's been a great play for the Broncos.
And now they throw it away. Into the backcourt it goes. Over and back. A pass intended for Gigi Berea. And he was a little bit more forward toward the free throw line than where that pass ended up, which was out near midcourt. And it simply bounced into the backcourt for the turnover. And Hawthorne, Gigi Berea come out. Meeks and Williams are in. Bronco basketball opening 50 seconds of the second half. A pretty good crowd here, even though both schools are out for the holiday break. In the corner, wide open pump fake. And Pajemski had a look from three, but opted not to take it. Cross court, open look for Keyshawn. That's a near air ball grabbed by Coonan. It was shot long, and now the Broncos racing back defensively as Shabazz angles that dribble to the left sideline in front of his own bench. Coonan, topside touch. Shabazz slips the screen, does Meeks. Meeks grabs it, now throws out near the logo. This is Roberts. Crossover dribble, stops at the left elbow. Grabbed by Meeks, down the lane, jump stop, fall away floater is good.
Yeah, it really seems Zane Meeks that X factor for USF. When he's been able to get going and have good games, the Dons have done well.
They double team Carlos Stewart in the backcourt. Now it's Keyshawn to Bediako. Scoops it up and in with a double clutch. Well done by Jaden. And the Broncos not only break that trap, but they turn it into 2 points, and they lead 42-40. Shabazz into the corner for Roberts. Pajemski defending him. Roberts spin dribble, whirls his way into the paint. The ball is loose. It's kicked and grabbed by Stewart. One-on-one with Coonan to the basket and contact. And Carlos Stewart took it right at Coonan. And Coonan picks up the foul as Herb Sendick turns around to the Bronco VIP seats behind the Santa Clara bench and says, come on, let's get excited here.
Absolutely. Great play there by Carlos Stewart, able to get out in transition and to your point, Coach Zendek turning to this Bronco faithful, trying to galvanize some support here in the second half.
Carlos Stewart went right at the much larger, much taller Coonan, who goes 6'8", 200. And Carlos at 6'1", said it doesn't matter. I want to score, and he makes both free throws. So in essence, he does. He has 12 points to lead Santa Clara, and the Broncos lead 44-40. And we're starting to hear a little more energy out of this Bronco fan base. Santa Clara off to a bright start here early in the second half, just 2:15 out of the halftime break. And a blocked shot, well done by Bediako, as Williams couldn't get the shot to go. Williams fired it, and it was blocked by Bediako, who's second in the conference with 19 blocks. Santa Clara ball, Stewart to the right elbow, Rison fires, misses off the iron, Coonan the rebound. Here comes Robert speeding into the front court up the far sideline. Picked up by Pajemski, now it's Meeks, catch, pump fake, now finds Williams. Meeks sets the screen, Williams goes down the lane by everybody and lays it in. It was a blow-by for Marcus Williams, who now has 9, and the Broncos turn it over. Shabazz, a 3 is good.
Yeah, Broncos just weren't ready there on that inbound, and Coonan stepped in, intercepted it, and a 5-0 run here for the Dons.
Yeah, 5-point swing there after that make, and then a turnover in the backcourt, an open look. Bediako looking for some help here, hands off to Carlos Stewart. Carlos looking to go down low to Bediako. He's double teamed. Now it's just Meeks. Low right block. Backing down the smaller defender. Jump hook. Got it. Bediako with a big bucket there. Santa Clara goes back on top. 46-45. And how about Bediako? 7 points, 2 rebounds in 17 minutes. It's the kind of post-production Santa Clara needs to open things up on the perimeter. Coonan back to the basket outside the arc, now into the hands of Meeks, trying to back down Bediako, trying to spin, leans in, forces it up and scores it, while Herb Sendek says, travel. No call, 47-46 USF. Parker Brown with Coonan defending him beyond the arc. 15:58, clock running. Broncos nearly turn it over. You heard an audible gasp from the crowd. Carlos Stewart between the legs with the dribble. Bediako flips it back to Carlos to the left elbow. Down the lane, there was contact there, and it'll be Meeks backpedaling when the contact happened. Meeks picks up his 3rd, and Santa Clara will be at the line when we come back. USF 47, Santa Clara 46 with 15:47 left to go here in the second half. We'll be back after this. Bronco basketball from Van Wagner. Broncos trailing 47-46, but Carlos Stewart is at the line for Santa Clara. And right now, Henry, early in the second half, 4 minutes, 13 seconds gone by, Carlos Stewart is keeping the Broncos not only in this game, but with an opportunity to take the lead here.
Yeah, and he's really been the stable force for the Broncos all year on the offense and defensive end. But right now, he's doing it by making plays, defensively, getting out in transition, and really penetrating this USF Don defense. And as a result, Zane Meeks just picked up his 3rd foul. That could be big for the Broncos.
And to have Carlos Stewart, the West Coast Conference's 3rd leading foul shooter, getting a lot of opportunities at the line. That could be a recipe for success here as he makes the first, and the second one is also good. He has 14 unofficially, and Santa Clara has the lead back 48-47. That is the 10th lead change in this game. Marcus Williams on the right wing, accelerating, dropping it off for Meeks on the drive to the bucket, and Meeks grabs it and throws it down with a two-handed dunk. And USF back on top by a point.
Yeah, just an unfortunate switch there between Bediako and Justice. We're on the same page, and Meeks slipped to the basket for the open dunk.
Keyshawn Justice flips backward to Carlos Stewart beyond the arc. Carlos finding Keyshawn, who uses the screen set by Bediako. There's another screen, rise and fire. Double clutch, misses the shot, and Pajemski battling with Zane Meeks for it, and it will be a tied ball possession to Santa Clara as Meeks, who has about 3 inches on Brandon Pajemski, kind of went over the top of him, but Brandon with position got his hands on it, and the two end up tying up. Meeks will go to the bench, and Hawthorne is in. Santa Clara has been pretty lucky so far in this game. A USF team that can really make their living from beyond the arc, who has been unable to do so far. Catch and shoot three off the inbound. Keyshawn Justice, a three-pointer from right in front of the Bronco bench, and Santa Clara leads by 2.
Broncos have done a really good job executing baseline out of bounds plays tonight. Early in the first half, we saw Pajemski get a few buckets. This time it's Keyshawn Justice knocking down an open 3.
Keyshawn with 8. Broncos lead 51-49. Hawthorne down low into Markovetsky, and Carlos Stewart took it away from the 7-footer, but he grabbed it and was standing on the end line. So the Broncos turn it over. Carlos Stewart to the bench for Brenton Napper. Markovetsky leaves for another 7-footer, 7'1" Saba Gigi Barea. So it's USF basketball. They're trailing by 2, and they go with a lineup of Shabazz, Roberts, Williams, Gigi Barea, and Hawthorne. And they're going to put the shot clock right here. It says 20, so it was bumped up, but it should be at 14. So 14:41 remaining in the second half, at 14 to shoot. Looking, and it comes. Hawthorne on the wing right. Nearly walked with it, fumbled it, but finally gets it to Shabazz. And a pass is stolen briefly by, well, we've got a problem here. And Brandon Pajemski jumped up into the air. He never had the basketball on the floor. So is that a change of possession?
Let's see here. They're going to come over and explain it.
Okay, well, Eric Curry says that Pajemski possessed the ball while he was in the air on the steal, and in throwing it into the backcourt, that changed the possession officially. Not the throwing into the backcourt, but him holding it with both hands. So it shouldn't have been to count down to 3, 2, 1. It should have been a bumped up shot clock. And now it's at 28. Bediako steals it. Pajemski pump fake down the lane, shuffles it off to Bediako, who lays it in.
How about Jaden Bediako getting out in the defensive lane, created a deflection, and he's rewarded with a great pass by Pajemski.
53-49 is our score. Bediako with 11 to go with his 2 rebounds. Hawthorne on the wing right. Cross court intercepted. The pass is taken by Pajemski. Into the front court left sideline. Key the trailer. 3 in the air. You betcha!
That's Bronco basketball right there. Defense lean to offense, and a veteran leader, Keyshawn Justice, knocking it down.
And we have a timeout. USF will step away. 13:59 left, second half. Broncos have opened up a 7-point lead. 56-49. Bronco basketball from Van Wagner.
Pizza Chicago of Santa Clara is a proud
That's what the Broncos would like to do. Henry Caruso out of this timeout on an 8-0 run to lead at 56-49. How have they been able to do it?
Broncos have done a great job on the defensive end, getting out in transition. Shooters have been ready to shoot and knock it down, and we just saw it right there from Keyshawn Justice. Bediako's played great here starting off the second half, and of course it all starts with number 22, Pajemski, making others better, really setting up this Bronco offense.
So Santa Clara's up by 7. An eternity on the clock here in the second half. I think the fans here enjoying some holiday basketball, no matter which side they're cheering for. As Shabazz and USF with the possession. Markovetsky, no, it's Gigi Barea spinning baseline jump hook, missed. 3 different Broncos, including Holt and Pajemski, battle for the rebound, and it's Pajemski who comes out of the pack with it for SCU. Pajemski reverse dribble against Roberts, now back to the center of the floor. Looking for help in the corner. Parker Brown pump fake. Spinning back. Forces one up and rolls it in over Gigi Barea. Parker Brown with 7.
He's been awesome here tonight, knocking down threes, getting to the basket, and what a crafty finish with the spin move.
10-0 run for Santa Clara. Williams open on the wing, puts it on the deck, going baseline by Keyshawn Justice, throws out to Roberts. Roberts free throw line extended right, dribbles into the paint, floater, back iron, hits both sides of the rim and drops down. Roberts now has 11 points, and that ends the 10-0 Santa Clara run. Santa Clara is up by 7 here. Brenton Napper, low left block. This is Keyshawn backing down the smaller Williams. There's a little floater, misses the shot, and Jacob Holt nearly had his hands on it. Key, I don't think he realized exactly where he was on the floor, even though he had the much smaller Williams on him. Roberts out at the logo, defended by Pajemski. Gigi Barea coming to set a screen, but Brandon leaning forward, and Roberts sensed it and then accelerated into the defender, and the foul is on Pajemski, who picks up his 3rd. Stewart into the game for Pajemski, who goes to the bench with 9 points, 5 assists in 24 minutes. Gigi Barea goes to the bench, and Josh Coonan is in with Meeks, Roberts, Williams, and Shabazz, who will inbound in the front court far sideline. 12:30 remaining. Second half from the Levy Center. Broncos lead by 7. Shabazz blows by 3 defenders and lays it in.
Yeah, Shabazz just rejected the ball screen, and Holt and Napper were both out of position.
Parker Brown pump fake, contact. Ultimately fires the shot and knocks down kind of a step back 3. The foul is on Coonan, and I think that might be his 4th. It is. 3rd team foul. Hawthorne, who was pretty much a non-entity last year, played only 7 games and scored 7 total points, but has come up with some big games here for first-year head coach Chris Gerlofson, who took over for Todd Golden, who led the Dons to the NCAA tournament, a first-round loss last year. Koziaka Meto stepping through, missing the shot. It's going to be tipped out of bounds and last touched by Jacob Holt. But Gerlofson lost a few key players. Jamari Bouye, who's in the G League, Gabe Stefanini, who's playing professionally in Italy, and Yaun Masalski, who was a double-double guy for them. I couldn't find where he is, but those are 3 key pieces, and he's replaced them very nicely. 58-53 Santa Clara. Jogging the dribble, Williams, picked up by Brown. There's the handoff to Shabazz. One-handed push pass. This is Roberts going to the basket. Pull-up floater. Missed. Keyshawn Justice has it pinball off the underside of the rim into his hand. So the Broncos get a rebound on the miss. And here comes Key into the front court. Stepping around the defender. Now he's dropping it off for Jacob Holt on the drive and dish and lay-in. Holt gets the bucket.
Great patience there by Keyshawn on the ball screen, getting the defender on his hip. And the big stepped up, and he dropped it off for Jacob Holt for the deuce. 60-53. That's the kind of ball movement the Broncos need. Now it's Holt on Shabazz. There's a pull-up 3, and that one is good. Shabazz ended up hitting the deck. There was no flop call. And Holt and the Broncos turn it over in their front court now. 60-56 Santa Clara, and the Broncos are in danger of giving back this advantage. Shabazz against Holt again. Has Holt on roller skates and then dribbles right around him and lays it in. And he has 21. 60-58 Santa Clara. This is not working right now defensively for Herb Sendick.
Keyshawn Justice picked up by two different players. Now Keyshawn driving to the basket, rolls it in. Finger roll for Keyshawn, who now has 13 points. And the Broncos go back up by 4.
Yeah, let's see defensively here if we get Shabazz on the ball screen again, if the Broncos guard it differently.
Meeks ready to set it. Now a pass into the corner. There's a 3-ball. That is missed badly in the corner by Hawthorne. Akametu the rebound. And Santa Clara in the front court with a 4-point lead. Kosi nearly throws it out of bounds. It's caught on the far sideline out near midcourt by Keyshawn Justice. 17-16 on the timer. Key to the elbow. Key has it poked away. And what do we have? A reach in by Parker Brown. Parker Brown commits the foul. Broncos turn it over. It's USF basketball with 9:59 remaining, and we have a timeout on the floor. Broncos 62, USF 58. It's Bronco basketball from Van Wagner. Santa Clara went on a 10-0 run after trailing early in the second half. And USF, like they did in the first half when they were down by 10, chipping away. They're down by 4, 62-58. The USF has the basketball. Anthony Passarelli and Henry Caruso, the former Bronco, here with you as Santa Clara Henry, is experiencing that lull right now. We saw it in the first half. Broncos switching on Shabazz to end up with a big man defending, and it's just not working right now. And so as Williams will run the point, Shabazz is the 2 guard. Julian Rishwain is into the game as well. Rishwain throwing to Meeks, pump fake, gets to the free throw line, throws back to Hawthorne. Now it's Shabazz on the right sideline. On the switch, now it's Parker Brown on him. Chest pass to Williams, just in front of his head coach, Gerlofson. Williams down the lane. Williams to the basket, stops, loses it out of bounds. It was last touched by Santa Clara with 8 on the timer. So USF will have to work quickly as they inbound with 9:37 left in the second half. Williams looking. Shabazz around the screen. Another screen in the corner. He pump fakes. Now he throws cross court. An open look from 3. And a blocked shot by Parker Brown with 2 on the timer. He blocks it out of bounds. So now the Dons have just 2 ticks to figure this out. And they will inbound in the deep corner at the end of their own bench in their front court.
Great job there by Parker Brown. Flying at the shooter and was able to recover to get that block.
Williams looking. Williams, ball fake. Throwing it to Shabazz, who fires up a wild shot, and it hit the shot clock above the backboard. Do they still call it a backboard?
Still a backboard.
And so a shot clock violation turns it over to Santa Clara. That is turnover number 13 for Chris Gerlofson's Dons. And now the Broncos inbounding in the backcourt. Herb Sendick has the lineup of Pajemski, Stewart, Bediako Brown, and the freshman Kosi Akametu. Clock rolling at 9:18. Pajemski, jab step, uses a screen from Bediako. Rishwain defending it very nicely. An underhanded scoop with the left hand from the right side, and Pajemski into double figures with 11. The Bronco lead is 6.
He's just so good getting downhill, and when he's at the rim, he's able to figure it out, that time with the inside lefty scoop.
Williams holds on the left side, now puts it on the deck between the legs with the dribble. Broncos switch it. Williams against Parker Brown. Rises, floats, misses back iron. Brown corrals the rebound, finds Carlos Stewart. Santa Clara possession. Carlos into the front court, far sideline as Keyshawn Justice heads to the scorer's table. Ball fake from Brown, still outside the arc. Pajemski, he's double teamed quickly. Now it's Parker Brown. Jab step from 3, wants to go on Coonan. He's bumped, spins, fires a pass. Well, I don't think it was a pass. Akametu on the deck. He's battling with Coonan, and it will be a tied ball. Possession, I believe, will go to USF. But Akametu hit the deck, and rather than have it just be a turnover, the Broncos were able to force the tied ball and get the possession arrow back after they give the ball to USF. So it could have gone worse for Santa Clara. They lead by 6.
Absolutely. We were talking, obviously, St. Mary's, Santa Clara has been a long-time rival, but USF and Santa Clara have really emerged, trying to jockey for that consistent crack in the top 3, top 4 of the WCC. Those little plays down the stretch are going to dictate this game.
Meeks had a strong first half, and now Carlos Stewart goes for the fake as Shabazz shifted his body to the left, pulled the ball down from his left knee to his right knee, and tried to move around Carlos, who picks up the foul for making contact. Foul situation, that's the Broncos' 4th. 8:15 remaining. Meeks out near midcourt, hands off to Roberts. Tyrell Roberts, who had been on the bench the last few minutes. Now the Broncos double him. It's Coonan. Coonan cross court. Rishwain, an open look from 3. He misses. It's tipped into the air, and it's grabbed by Shabazz. Shabazz, bounce pass down low to Rishwain. That was at his shoe tops, and as he reached down for it, it went off his leg and out of bounds. Those are tough to handle.
They are.
But we can handle this. It's a break. 64-58 Santa Clara. 7:58 to play second half. Don't go away. We've got excellent basketball inside the lead. Alongside former Bronco Henry Caruso, Anthony Passarelli with you as Santa Clara trying to end a 5-game losing streak against USF. They've led in this game by as many as 10. And they have trailed by 4. But right now they lead by 6, 64-58. Bronco basketball. And Carlos Stewart, Pajemski, Justice, Bediako, and Brown. It's the starting 5 in there for Herb Sendick as Carlos Stewart with the dribble picked up at midcourt by Shabazz. Now a Bediako screen. Pajemski, free throw line, spin, reverse, floater. He got it to go. Some magic there from Brandon Pajemski.
Just a high-level move.
Do they teach that? Or
Nowadays,
did he just come up with it?
I think he's invented it on the spot, and he makes it look good.
Meeks in the corner. There's the 3 ball. It's up and missed. Pajemski the rebound as Rishwain couldn't get it to go. Front court, it's Keyshawn Justice accelerating. Gets to the baseline left. Now pulls it back out to Bediako. Jaden Holding now into the hands of Brandon Pajemski. He's double teamed. Corner three from Parker Brown. It is missed and grabbed by Shabazz. Parker, you could tell when it left his hand, it was going to be off to the right. And so after the miss, a 66-58 Bronco lead with 7 minutes remaining in the second half. Shabazz throwing to the corner. That's Roberts. Roberts working against Pajemski. Low right block just outside the arc. Coonan trying to back down Justice. Now he bounces it out to Meeks. Meeks puts it on the deck, down the lane, off the glass, misses the shot. Tip follow is missed, and the rebound is grabbed by Rishwain. Shot clock bumped up to 20. Coonan back to Roberts. Roberts dribbling out top. 10 on the timer. Roberts double team. Flipping a pass inside to Coonan. Now throws to the corner. Wide open look from three, and that one is good. Meeks was wide open. And then we've got a timeout for USF after the Meeks triple, giving him 16 points for the game, and we will take a break. 6:23 remaining here in the second half. Broncos 66, USF 61. It is Bronco basketball from Van Wagner. Welcome back. Levy Center in Santa Clara as opening night of West Coast Conference play. And this is the late game. Broncos 66, USF 61 with 6:23 to play. Cameron Tongue going to see some action now for Herb Sendick, as Keyshawn Justice remains in the game. Pajemski defended by Roberts. Brandon dribbling, now pulling it back out. 16-15 on the timer. They double. Now it's Carlos Stewart in the corner. His three ball is long, and it's Meeks on the weak side with the board. One quick pass to Roberts, crosses midcourt up the left sideline, throws it back to Meeks, jab step, underhanded flip out near midcourt to Shabazz. Taps the top of his head, hands off to Williams. 5:48 and the clock rolling. Meeks wanted Williams to go back door. Now Williams down the lane, throws it out top. Well done by Parker Brown. Now it's Carlos Stewart dribbling up the sideline. He's in trouble, and Carlos travels with it. Broncos had a golden opportunity after forcing the turnover, and Carlos didn't like it. And some of the fans here at the Levy Center didn't like it as well. Herb Sendick crestfallen as Santa Clara has turned it over now 14 times. Points off turnovers, 15 for the Dons, 19 for Santa Clara. Coonan defended by Cameron Tongue. Coonan wants to square up on the sophomore. Now jogging the dribble, now on the left, is spinning into the paint, drives to the basket, misses the shot. They let contact go, as there could have been a travel first on Coonan, and then there could have been contact called on Cameron Tongue.
Good job there by Cam Tongue, standing his ground, making Coonan try to finish over two high hands.
Now the Broncos are in a little bit of a rut here. 2.5 minutes without a point, but they still lead by 5 as Pajemski dribbles down the lane, cross court to Key. Key steps in. Key fires a jump shot. It's off to the right. You could tell when it left its hand it was going to be off. And now Santa Clara races back on defense. The drought continues, even though the Broncos lead. A Shabazz pull-up three is missed and grabbed by Justice. Broncos got a break there because Shabazz can make 7 out of 10 on any given night, and you end up leaving the gym wondering what happened to you. Pajemski dribbling. That's contact right there. No foul call. Pajemski around to Cameron Tung's screen. Lob inside, and Cameron Tung can't get the dunk, but the follow by Parker Brown is good.
Great job by Parker Brown staying with it. Cameron Tung almost brought down the house with a one-hand jam.
68-61 Santa Clara. 4:05 left to go here in the second half. Shabazz in the air, finds Meeks off the pass. Meeks misses the three. It's tipped once, tipped twice, and grabbed by Parker Brown, who loses it out of bounds. So close for Santa Clara. It's going to be USF ball. We have our final media timeout with 3:53 to play, and the Broncos up 68-61. It's Bronco basketball from Van Wagner.
You at Xerox.com. Once again, the voice of Santa Clara basketball, Anthony Passarelli.
Well, we're not quite to the postgame show. We've got 3:53 to play here in the second half. 68-61 Santa Clara. It's USF basketball as the Broncos send out Cameron Tung, Keyshawn Justice, Parker Brown, Brandon Pajemski, and Carlos Stewart. Santa Clara leads by 7. 3 players in double figures. 14 for Stewart, 13 for Keyshawn Justice. In fact, he's just 2 points shy of tying Travis Neeson for 20th all-time on the Bronco career scoring list with 1,380 points. But I'm sure he'd rather get the win here first, and that's what the Broncos are trying to do here. So floated pass to Meeks outside the arc. Parker Brown defending him. Here comes Williams to take it. 8 on the timer, 7 on the timer. Williams wants to go. Williams working against Parker Brown. Pump fake, leans in. Underhand scoop shot is missed. The ball is loose, and it's tipped and grabbed, or is it? It's on the deck, it goes out of bounds, and it's Bronco ball as Williams dove for it on the baseline, made contact with it while part of his body was out of bounds, and it's Bronco basketball.
Great initial hustle there from Pajemski, always the first guy on the floor, and he was able to keep that alive for the Broncos.
Pajemski with some pressure in the backcourt. Working the dribble against Roberts, trying to reach midcourt, 22 on the timer as he crosses. Pajemski, free throw line, stops, picks up the dribble, throws back to Keyshawn Justice. Broncos up 7 with 3:09 to play. Pajemski working, Pajemski working. Pajemski triple team. Pajemski throws it to Cam Tung. Pajemski, well, no, it was Cam Tung who was grabbed on the arm by Khalil Shabazz. So it helps the Broncos as that possession was quickly running out of seconds. Josh Coonan will check in. And Hawthorne goes to the bench, so the Broncos maintain possession. They'll inbound baseline right. Carlos Stewart will inbound. Pajemski, 3 minutes remaining. Broncos up 7. Pajemski stepping through, floats one as his Euro step gets him by Meeks for the lay-in.
His package has been on full display tonight. Around the rim, finishing up high and down low. Podziemski leading the Broncos by 9.
Now it's 3.5 minutes without a point for USF as Williams will end. Oh, he misses the layup. Williams got by 2 defenders and missed the layup. Santa Clara ball. Herb Sendick throws both palms skyward and says, hold on here. 2.5 to play, and we're up by 9, 70-61. Podziemski at the logo. Gets the screen from Tongue, fires the 3. It is no good, but he was fouled by Williams. Shooting a 3. 3 shots coming for Podziemski with 2:22 to play.
Just another smart play by Podziemski, using the ball screen, knowing that the defender's behind him. Podziemski stops on a dime, Risen fires, misses the shot, but he's able to draw the foul.
So 3 free throws for Podziemski. First free throw in the air, and he misses. Second free throw for Brandon, misses the second. Well, as you might guess, this is not something we normally see. He's an 81% free throw shooter coming into the game. Try to make it a 10-point lead with 2:22 to play, and the third one is good. Podziemski with 16. Now go back and play some defense here with 2:20 to play. Clock rolling. Shabazz hands off to Roberts, fires a 3, and now he's called for a foul. And Brandon Podziemski looks at his head coach Herb Sendick and says, I did not touch him. Podziemski has just picked up his 4th. And now back at the other end, it'll be Roberts shooting 3 free throws. Roberts is 4 for 4 from the line, and his first free throw is good. Tyrell Roberts, 76% coming into the game on 29 of 38. He's now 5 for 5. He has 12 points. Second free throw, no good. 71-62 Santa Clara, 2:16 to play. Justin Beeker, the 6'5 redshirt sophomore guard, who has played only 8 games this year, is going to see some minutes here. So it's Beeker, Roberts, Williams, Hawthorne, and Shabazz. And the free throw is good. Maybe they have him on here to foul, potentially. As Roberts now has 13 points unofficially, 71-63. In it comes Podziemski, calls a timeout. So now the Broncos, I believe, are going to use a 30 here. Let's check and see. It's a 30-second timeout. So we will keep it here. Broncos lead at 71-63. And an 8-point lead with 2:14 to play can be comfortable, but we know a USF team that shoots 3-pointers at the volume they do, and in fact they've shot 25 tonight to the Broncos 17. They can gobble up points in just a couple of possessions, so Santa Clara needs to do what here?
Absolutely. USF, they've shown this year that they've been able to come back late in the game. They were down big at UNLV. They rallied in that game, winning in the final minutes. So it's going to be important here for the Broncos, first and foremost, to break the press, meet the ball, and really be strong, and hopefully run some clock while still getting quality possessions here to close out these last 2:14.
Santa Clara possession. They've got Brown, Justice, Carlos Stewart, Cameron Tongue, and Brandon Podziemski. Santa Clara will inbound to the backcourt in front of the USF bench. Looking, and it comes to Podziemski. Podziemski's double teamed in the backcourt, steps through, throws it to the front court to Justice. Justice going to dribble out to the wing, now finding Carlos Stewart with Roberts right on him. Here comes a reach-in foul, and it's Roberts committing the foul, his second. And that's only the 6th team foul for USF. So the next one's in the bonus with 2:02 remaining, and Santa Clara up 8. It's a 3-possession game for Santa Clara. They cannot afford a turnover here. Parker Brown is looking for the inbound, and in it comes to Podziemski. Podziemski on the sideline. Podziemski working against Roberts. Now Beeker comes out. Podziemski putting on a dribbling clinic here. He stops looking for help. Here's Keyshawn Justice. 10 on the timer. Now to Carlos Stewart with 1:50 to play. And Carlos penetrating down the lane, up with the right hand. He misses the shot, but he's fouled. And a blocking foul will put Carlos Stewart at the line. It's on Justin Beeker. And 2 shots coming with $1:46 remaining, and the Broncos up by 8.
Yeah, just an ideal possession there for the Broncos. Able to take 26 seconds of time and ultimately find Carlos Stewart, who darted down the lane, and he's back to the line tonight.
Carlos Stewart, before that free throw, was 9 for 9, and now he's 10 for 10 from the line. Second free throw is good. 11 for 11. He leads all Broncos with 16 points. It's a 10-point Santa Clara lead. Williams picks it up, going the length of the floor, high off the glass, misses, but there's the tip follow by Meeks. And Meeks having a good game. He has 18 points. Broncos looking, and it comes to Pajemski. $1:30 left to go. Carlos Stewart speeding the dribble into the front court. It's Keyshawn Justice. Justice defended by Shabazz. 80 seconds remaining, and Shabazz steals it. Shabazz going to go the length of the floor, and he's fouled by Carlos Stewart. It stops the clock. The Broncos lead is 8, but USF with $1:16 to play is going to go to the line.
Yeah, just a really good individual play by Shabazz. Able to creep under Keyshawn Justice, rip the ball from him, and in transition uses a shot fake. Stewart goes flying, and he's going to have a chance here to chop into that Bronco lead.
Shabazz is 2 for 2 from the line, just one dribble, and he knocks it down. A good shooter, does not spend a lot of time on the free throw line, bending his knees and spinning the ball, and you saw it there. Shabazz, a 2-time All-West Coast Conference second teamer. His 109th career game for USF. It's a 7-point Bronco lead with $1:16 to play. Now it's a 6-point lead. 73-67 Santa Clara. Parker Brown working the baseline, and it comes to Pajemski. Now throws ahead to Brenton Napper. Now Brenton Napper to Carlos Stewart, right to the rack and lays it in. 18 for Carlos, 75-67, and we have a travel at the other end. Hawthorne fell down with the basketball on his way to the basket, turns it over, and with a 75-67 lead, it's Santa Clara ball, and Chris Gerlifson calls a timeout. It's their final timeout, I believe, a 30-second timeout. Let's check to see here as Nate Harris. It's a 30-second timeout, and that is USF's final timeout. So now, 63 seconds remaining. A whole different situation for Santa Clara as they have the 8-point lead and the ball. And, I mean, you could look up and down this lineup. Players who have stepped in and done something for Santa Clara to get a victory tonight.
Yeah, it's been a great overall team performance.
And it's not over.
It's not over. We're not going to count the win yet, but really it's been great just seeing guys step up. Really, the bigs, Parker Brown, Jaden Bediako, we touched on that in the beginning of the game. Those were going to be 2 guys that were instrumental to this game, and they've really rose to the occasion and done exceedingly well.
The opener, West Coast Conference play for both schools. We've had blowout victories tonight for BYU at Pacific, LMU at Portland, and I know I'm missing one game. St. Mary's over San Diego in Moraga. So it's Bronco basketball. $1:03 to play. Parker Brown in the Bronco backcourt looking, and in it comes to Brenton Napper. Napper double teamed in the backcourt. What do we have? A foul. The whistle and the foul. It's on Hawthorne. That is the 8th team foul. And we'll send the Broncos to the line with a 1-and-1 opportunity. Beeker comes out, Meeks is in. And it'll be Brenton Napper at the line for a 1-and-1. Santa Clara up 8. Brenton Napper has not attempted a free throw here tonight. Deep breath from the soft redshirt freshman, I should say. And the missed free throw is tipped out by Parker Brown. Now it's Brenton Napper throwing to Keyshawn Justice. Justice dribbling toward the paint, keeping the dribble alive, throwing to Parker Brown, who lays it in. And that might do it. Broncos lead by 10 with 47 seconds to play. 77-67 is the score. Shabazz spending a lot of precious moments here. Fires a three. It's missed, and this one goes down into the corner and is let out of bounds. Bronco ball with 36.5 seconds left and a 10-point lead.
Yeah, great job there. How about Parker Brown keeping the possession alive and able to be rewarded right there off the dish.
Carlos Stewart, Brenton Napper. This is Pajemski throwing to Keyshawn Justice. 28, 27, 26. The fans starting to get the reality that Santa Clara is going to beat USF and end a 5-game losing streak against the Dons. 12, 11, 10 on the timer, 15 left in the game. Stewart to the right elbow. Stewart off the window, misses, but the follow and the putback for Pajemski is good, and the Broncos are going to win this one. They lead by 12 with 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Shabazz is just going to dribble it out, and the horn sounds, and the Broncos get the victory. Santa Clara 79, USF 67. Behind 18 points each from Carlos Stewart and Brandon Pajemski. We will take a break here and come back with a post-game show after this. It's Bronco basketball from Van Wagner.
Anthony Passarelli.
Yeah, well, welcome back. We're inside the Levy Center. Anthony Passarelli and Henry Caruso after the Broncos get the victory over the USF Dons in the 231st meeting between these two schools dating back to 1908. Santa Clara 79, USF 67. As Henry, as we're on the Rabbit Office Automation postgame show, you know, as a former player, USF, marquee game on the schedule, and especially getting them at home to try and get the victory is so key, especially to start conference play.
Absolutely. Getting off to a great start, starting conference play the right way. It was really a collective effort this whole game, top to bottom. Everyone that came into the game made a huge impact, and I think that just gives Coach Sendek's staff a lot of confidence moving forward and, of course, protecting home court at the Levy Center.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a game where Santa Clara got off to a hot start. Parker Brown making a three, Keyshawn Justice making a three, and Santa Clara was shooting the ball very well. They got out to a 10-point lead at 14-4, but as you would expect, USF got right back in it. Khalil Shabazz and Zane Meeks did very well. Santa Clara got little bit parts, good plays from Cameron Tung, who ended up with 5 rebounds, and Jaden Bediako and Keyshawn Justice, who had a couple of early shots, and of course Brandon Pajemski not only scoring the basketball but setting up his teammates to get involved. Keyshawn Justice continues to knock down shots from outside, and even Parker Brown, who just got back into town yesterday from his holiday travel, had him stuck in Missouri, was missed the 26th December 26th practice, but rejoined his team and didn't look like he skipped a beat. Santa Clara had to turn back an outstanding effort from Khalil Shabazz, not only shooting from outside but driving to the basket. And we mentioned Meeks doing well. Santa Clara got some nifty moves from Brandon Pajemski, one of which I thought there's no way they can teach that in any type of basketball practice or skills, but he did amazingly well. And just across the board, Santa Clara did fantastic in everybody chipping in to be a part of this victory. We'll take a look at some numbers now. As Santa Clara, we knew off the bat that when they outshot their opponents, they won. They are 9-0 this year when they outshoot their opponents, 52% to 39% in this one. Santa Clara was also better from behind the arc, 3 for 12 for USF in the second half. The Broncos for the game from three-point land were 6 of 17, including 2 of 5 in the second half. And then from the free throw line, Santa Clara 15 of 21, but made some big free throws in the second half when they needed to. And Santa Clara turnovers were about even. They had more assists on made field goals, and the rebounding, Santa Clara 36 to 30. That was a key component. In this 5-game stretch where Santa Clara had not beaten USF, they were out-rebounded every time, but that was not the case in this one. Some individual numbers for you, as Carlos Stewart co-led the Broncos, along with Brandon Pajemski, 18 points apiece. Carlos, 11 for 11 from the line for the West Coast Conference's third leading free throw shooter. As we look at the courtside stats here, Brandon Pajemski, 7 of 12 from the floor, 5 rebounds, 5 assists in 34 minutes, filling up the stat sheet. Broncos ended up with 5 players in double figures. Bediako, 11 points, 2 rebounds. Keyshawn Justice, 13 points, 5 and 5 assists. And then Parker Brown, 11 points, 9 rebounds, nearly a double-double. We should also note Holt with 4, 2 points for Christoph Tilley. Cameron Tunk, 2 points and 5 rebounds. And Brent Napper gave some big minutes, as did Kozi Akametu. Your overall thoughts just on the team performance?
Yeah, I just thought it was a really balanced attack, and ultimately Broncos come out with a great victory, but it was those little plays down the stretch. We had a lot of situations tonight where off of offensive rebounds, there were tips. Guys like Cam Tung, who maybe don't play those big minutes, really came into tonight's game and made a huge impact. And ultimately, it was those little plays that propelled the Broncos here to a victory. And that's going to be key as we have the Gales coming in here on Saturday night.
And as we talked about with the scores, LMU blowing out Portland, and Portland a bit of a surprise. St. Mary's a blowout victory over San Diego. That was in Moraga. And, Pacific having it handed to them at home against BYU. You're going to get these nights where things are going well, they're not going well. I think USF had some things that normally go well for them not go well in this one, despite Shabazz's 23, 13 for Roberts, and 18 for Meeks off the bench to go with his 10 rebounds. Zane Meeks had a double-double. So that'll do it. That's going to wrap up our show, and we're glad to have you watching on the WCC network. But we will take one more break for radio. So we'll say goodbye to our WCC TV audience. Thanks a lot, and join us on Saturday at 4 o'clock New Year's Eve when the Broncos host the St. Mary's Gales. So we'll say goodbye, and when we come back from this break on radio, we'll have more of the postgame show. Bronco basketball from Van Wagner.